Welcome, everyone. Welcome to Life Coach University's Pay It Forward conference on meditation. I am your host for this conference. My name is Chris Weal. I am a relationship coach, and I am joined today by four amazing keynote speakers, and they are all part of the Life Coach University organization. They are all contributors as well. And they are Jodi Jackson and Bryan Peterson, Jutta Jerlich, and Jackson Tan. And I'm going to be bringing them on individually as keynote speakers throughout the conference. And then again, at the end, we're all going to come back and take some time to answer any questions that any of you may have. So please feel free to, at any point, if you have a question, type that into or those into the Q&A section, not the chat section, but there's a specific Q&A section. So please put your questions in there. And at the end, we'll leave time to answer those questions. And if you can't stay the full 90 minutes, but you have a question, please put the question in and we'll do our best to get to it and answer that. And this will be recorded and it'll be shared on the Life Coach University YouTube channel and also on the website. lifecoachuniversity.com, so you can come back and view and get your question answered later, or you can email your question into hello@lifecoachuniversity.com and we'll be happy to answer it through email. All right, so that's the format. I'm going to just do a quick intro, talk about my experience and the benefits I've received from meditation, and then I'm going to hand it over to our wonderful keynote speakers to kind of get to the core of what meditation is, how it's done, how it can benefit you. And then, like I said, we'll open it up to a Q&A at the end. So why did I want to host a conference on meditation? I'm a relationship coach. I don't, meditation isn't something that I really teach, or, I'm not necessarily an expert in it. It's just something that I've benefited from for many years now, going back to basically 2007. I was suffering pretty badly from anxiety disorder and also high blood pressure. So I was in my late 20s and I had high blood pressure, and I was taking medicine for anxiety attacks, and I wanted to do something about that. So I learned about meditation and yoga, and I started practicing both regularly. And within a relatively short period of time, a few months, I was able to stop taking the high blood pressure medicine and the anti-anxiety medicine. So meditation has just had wonderful effects for me in my life. I've been doing it now pretty regularly for it's been 15 years, and the benefits are just they're numerous and they're enormous. And so that's why I just wanted to share that with you here today, and maybe bust some of the myths that there are around meditation and help simplify it, make it more accessible to more people, so more people can get the benefits that I've gotten and so many others have gotten from it. So in addition to getting off high blood pressure meds and anxiety meds, it's really done wonders for my ability to focus, to be present. So, and what I mean by that is not being stuck in my head, fixated on either the past or the future, which is really where depression and anxiety live. So when we ruminate on thoughts about something that happened in the past, or we're worried about something that hasn't even happened yet, like that's when the depression and the anxiety and the worry and the fear and all of that comes in. The human suffering, it's really tied to not being present with your mind. So meditation has done wonders for me to be here in the moment. And it's really done wonders for my relationship. Through meditation, I'm able to be much more present and listen and really connect better, have a deeper connection with not only my girlfriend, but with other people as well. And so being able to be present with the people that I'm with and have deeper connection, listen, focus, be more curious and compassionate. Meditation has done a lot for to contribute to that for me. And so it's just been a wonderful thing in my life. And without any more delay, let's get this started. Let's bring on our first keynote speaker today to really get into the, what is meditation and how do we do it, right? All right, so I am going to bring on Jodi Jackson. And Jodi, I am coming to get you right now. And as I do that, I'm also going to introduce you. So just give me one moment here while I get Jodi. Jodi Jackson currently lives in Connecticut, and she is a manifestation coach and Reiki practitioner with Restore You Coaching and Reiki. And she likes to help others find their flow when they are stuck, because when we're not blocked, the world is our oyster. By getting out of our head and into our heart and trusting our gut, we free ourselves from the shackles. And this, she loves meditation for this. It takes you to a different world where there is no judgment and only peace. It helps us find the answers and learn the best path taken. Welcome, Jodi. Thank you so much for joining me. Please share with us your thoughts on what meditation is and how do we do it properly.
Thank you so much, Chris. Thank you for having me here. And thank you for all of you beautiful people for coming to this. I think all of us that are speaking on this today, it's really part of our hearts. And we know from experience now, and for me personally, I just love to share the wealth. So I am a manifestation coach. I really, really enjoy helping people get what they want. So for today, in meditation, I'd really love to, I love debunking things. I love to talk about what's out there and what we're taught, and then taking that and turning it on its head, putting it upside down and showing you how simple something can really be. And that's including meditation. So let's talk about what meditation is for a second first. And I'm all about intention. And my intention today is to tell you in very simple terms, what meditation is and how you can do it in a non-threatening way to find peace. And like Chris was saying, to de-stress. But a lot of people will say, hey, do something, but that doesn't necessarily mean we know how. So I'll talk about that too for the next 9 or 10 minutes or so. So meditation. Meditation is simply, in the simplest terms, a technique. It's a technique where we learn to be present, because if we're present, we're not thinking about the past and we're not thinking about the future. We're simply right here. Now, saying that, it's simpler. It's not as simple as it is, right? It's simpler to say than to actually do it. So that's where the how comes in. And I find when you know the how and you do something that's most comfortable for you, not anybody else, what's most comfortable for you, you're more likely to do it, and you're more likely to have an easier time doing it. So it's all about what's doing best for you. And that goes with anything in life. So with meditation, maybe it's not the best to just simply sit on the floor in lotus position and try to clear your mind. I know that was not for me. I had to work up to that. So the way I like to think is, what is the smallest possible step I can take? And this goes with anything that you want to learn to do. but for meditation purposes, what is the smallest possible step that you can take and still be comfortable to work up to meditation? So I have some examples for you that you might be a little surprised about that you can do, that can help you get into the feel of what this feels like first. So let's talk about things that we do in our everyday lives, things we don't even have to think about that we do because they're so automatic. Brushing our teeth, washing our face. Maybe if you don't have a dishwasher or you just wash dishes in the sink, doing something like that. Or anything else you can think of that you do on a daily basis that is so automatic, you just do it. Well, you didn't start to be automatic doing those things, did you? They had to start somewhere. Maybe with our parents or one of our parents or somebody showing us what to do to brush our teeth. And we end up doing it day after day after day until it's easy and we don't need to think about it anymore. But here's the thing. When something gets so automatic, that means you can also think at the same time, right? You can brush your teeth or wash your face or doing whatever you're doing that's automatic, but also think about your past or think about your future. Think about other times at the same time you're doing something so automatic. So what's the difference between doing something like that and making something like that a meditation? Well, you're thinking about what you're doing. When you're thinking about what you're doing right then and there, like Chris was saying earlier, you're being present. And when you're being present, you can't be in any other time at the same time. So how do you be present or brushing your teeth or washing your face? Think about where you're getting your toothbrush from at that moment, where you're getting your floss, where you're getting your toothpaste, where are those things coming from? What are you doing with them? Excuse me. And then once you start brushing your teeth, think about sensations. What does the toothpaste taste like? What does the toothbrush on your teeth feel like? What does it feel like on your gums? What are the sensations that you're having? What does it make you think about? When you're thinking about all these things, you're only in your present, right? You're not in any other time or place. Now, how do you transform doing something like that to the actual meditation that we know of, that everyone talks about? Sitting down on the floor and closing our eyes and not thinking of anything. Well, the reason I give you something to practice with something like brushing your teeth is because the first thing you want to do is learn how to get present. And something like that will help you do that, right? Now you're going to transfer it to actual meditation where you're not doing anything, you're just sitting there. To do that, you want to do, again, the smallest possible thing that you can do. Maybe that's 5 seconds, 10 seconds, whatever is small enough and comfortable enough for you. We live in a society where everybody wants it now and they want to be the best. Like I said earlier, I like to flip things around. So let's do that and make it the smallest possible step. And let's do 5 seconds. I also want to say, be comfortable. If you don't want to sit down on the floor, don't. Sit in a chair. Sit on the floor, lay on the floor, lay on your bed. There's no uncomfortable rules to meditation. If something makes you feel uncomfortable with meditation, that's not something you should be doing. So you get comfortable and you close your eyes for 5 seconds. And I give myself something to stay present. I tell myself the words, be here now. Another comfortable rule, which may take some practice, is be kind to yourself. Be kind. A thought is going to come into your head. You're doing this for the first time. Who gets something right when we do it for the first time? So be kind. A thought comes into your head. Realize the thought is there. And by the way, when you realize the thought is there, that means you're present again, and let it float away. Next time a thought comes, do the same thing and do it again and again and again. Be kind to yourself and just bring yourself back to presence. As you can do it longer, you do it. But it's important to be kind to yourself and bring yourself back to presence. If you're still having a hard time with it, go simpler. What's an even smaller step you can do? So I hope this made sense to all of you. And I hope you know now what meditation is. Very few rules, and they should be comfortable rules. So I cannot wait to hear what the other speakers have to say. I'm really enjoying this. Thank you so much again for coming. And I give it back to you, Chris.
Jodi, that was such a beautifully simple and powerful explanation. I absolutely love what you said about no uncomfortable rules and be here now, right? That just sums it up so nicely. I loved what you said about that. I hope everyone else got as much as I did from that. I think it was a very powerful and simple explanation. And hopefully, people are able to understand a little bit better about what meditation actually is and how it's not such a scary, daunting thing, and you don't have to sit in uncomfortable positions. So thank you so much, Jodi, and I will see you again for Q&A. And I'm going to drop you back down, and then we're going to switch over to our next keynote. So I'm going to drop you to attendee. All right, thanks, Jodi. All right, that was great. Thank you so much. Up next, we have Bryan Peterson, who is going to come on here. Bryan, I am coming to get you, and then I will introduce you. So hang tight, my friend. Here we go, promoting the panelist. All right, everyone. Bryan Peterson is a success mindset coach, and he currently lives in Pocatello, Idaho with his wife, Sonia, and their 2 cats. And Bryan really loves coaching and talking around the mind, habits, and self-sabotage, things of that nature. He helps people to exercise their mental muscles and create empowering new lives. Love that. He began his journey 5+ years ago after he hit rock bottom working in the restaurant industry all his life. He is fascinated with personal development, and meditation has become part of that foundation. He initially started meditation because that's what the book said to be doing, but he got deeper into it and he started to fully realize its benefits, and now he pretty much enjoys doing it every day. That is awesome. So welcome, Bryan. So good to see you. Thank you for being here. I would love it if you can go a little bit deeper into how we can all develop meditation as a daily practice so we really get the benefits from it, and then address some of those questions around, I don't do it right. My mind, I can't keep my mind still. So how do we meditate when we can't keep our mind still? So thank you for being here, Bryan. I'll leave it to you.
Thank you, Chris. And first of all, Chris, thank you so much for hosting this. When the topic of meditation came up, I had so many different thoughts that I could share and stuff like that. But I just want to honor you for hosting this. I think this is a wonderful topic that so many people could benefit from. And so I'm just going to dive right in. I liked how Jodi too. You were just so calm and relaxing. I felt really good over here. So, how can I turn my meditation into a daily practice? You're probably going to see a theme running through this. She said start small. Like I've got four things that I just wanted to share today with how you can turn it into a daily habit. Number one is start tiny, like she said. I began with guided meditations, so that might help you out. And then another theme that she said that I love to piggyback on is be compassionate with yourself. And then the fourth thing is just check your expectations at the front door, so to speak. So starting tiny, just like she said, any habit that you want to do, there's a couple books out there, Tiny Habits and Atomic Habits, that just say start small. Like we all think that we have to sit there in this, like she said, the lotus position or whatever like that, and do it for 30 minutes or it's, whatever like that. You could just start for a minute, like she said 30 seconds, I think, or whatever like that. But just for a minute, just breathe in, breathe out. And imagine doing that for a minute. Like I just felt calm after that one breath. And so you could just literally do it for a minute and then you could build upon it from there. And what I like to tell like my clients and stuff is just put some post-it notes around the house. If you're working in an office, I have them set their passwords as reminders. That's a good way. Or I set like random alarms on my phone. And when that goes off, I could either just take a moment then, or I could remind myself, hey, have you meditated today, or have you taken a few moments? Like I like to do mine when I first wake up, but I also do it throughout the day too. And so another thing too is guided meditations. I used guided meditations in the very beginning. Like I said, the book said you needed to meditate. I read a lot of books on how to become better, blah blah blah. And so it was like meditate. You need to meditate. And so I used meditation to get rid of the voices in my head. And early on, that's what I thought it was for. And so I used guided meditations to fall asleep. And so after a while, that kind of built me in a habit because it was so relaxing hearing somebody else's voice. And you can go to YouTube and find tons and tons of them. And there's like 5-minute ones, there's 30-minute ones, there's all kinds of lengths and stuff like that. So you don't have to do anything, just put on the headphones and it will guide you through. So that's another way that you could do it. And then I started following that up once I kind of built it into a practice, and then I was able to expand on it myself. And then to be compassionate with yourself. Just like she said, you promise yourself you want to do it every day because you know the benefits from it, but then you like on the third day you don't end up doing it. So you end up beating yourself up like, oh, you didn't follow through. I always like to think of like this parent child conversation, like, the mom or the dad's like, hey, you need to clean up your room, you're a slob and stuff like that. Well, nobody wants to be that child. But in this case, like you're the parent and the child, and you're just yelling at yourself. I would rather you have a best friend relationship, because your best friend wouldn't tell you, hey, you missed meditation for today. Your best friend would say, hey, man, it's okay. You can do it again tomorrow, or let me help you out. Like imagine if that voice on our head said, let me help you out more instead of you're not doing it good enough. We would get like so much more done. Like we would have like so many more relaxed emotions about it. So definitely be compassionate about it with yourself. And then check your expectations at the front door. I had so many expectations in the beginning. Like my first few meditations, like I'd have this glorious meditation. And then the next day I was like, oh, I didn't get relaxed. My voice, I couldn't get my mind to shut up, which is what I'm getting ready to talk about next. Just experience it. Like do that meditation for 1 minute where you just focused on your breath or brushing your teeth. I love that she said that. Like, and do that. And then at the end, just go, wow, how was that? How did I feel? How did my body feel? And you could do that. So those are some ways how you can turn it into a meditation, into a daily practice. I hope that helped you. So start tiny. You can try guided meditations, be compassionate with yourself, and check your expectations at the front door. And so to answer some of those questions, Chris, like you asked, when people say like, I can't keep my mind still, or, I'm no good at meditating, so how can it help me? Well, just the fact that you notice that you can't keep your mind still tells me that meditating would benefit you so much. And just like Jodi said, like you weren't good at any of those things that you did. I'm using the analogy of like riding a bike. Like you weren't good at riding a bike to begin with, but you stuck with it. And eventually the training wheels came off. And then now you can ride a bike anywhere. And it's so much fun to ride your bike, all these places. The same thing with meditating. It's not going to be very good at first. And I'm going to use a couple different analogies here to kind of explain to you why you can't keep your mind still, and then how you can move through it kind of like that. So the first analogy I'll share is, think of your mind like a bucking wild bronco, right? And you found this beautiful horse and it's just wild, but you want to have this wonderful relationship with it where it will take you places and help you travel along your journey. Well, that's the same thing with your mind, right? Your mind is this wild, like bucking bronco that you haven't tamed, but your mind is also a tool that you could use to help you navigate life, to help you, journey through there. And so we just have to slowly reel it in. I think the first thing they do when they tame the wild horse is they walk it in a circle. I've seen that before. And like the horse isn't even liking that. It's like, no, get me away from there. And then eventually they like throw a saddle on it and it doesn't like that. So that's what you're doing when you're meditating. Like every time you're meditating, you're just kind of reining in this wild horse. And then another analogy I'll use is think of your thoughts as a buffet of food in front of you. And you wouldn't go to a buffet, like you wouldn't go to a Chinese buffet and just let the server just dish up a bunch of stuff for you and serve it to you, right? Well, it's the same thing that's happening with your mind and your thoughts. Like if we don't take that plate away from our mind is going to serve our thoughts up with just a bunch of stuff we don't like. I don't like crab rangoon. So every morning I wake up and my brain is handing me a plate full of crab rangoon. And I'm like, I don't like this. I like Mongolian beef and I like it spicy. So that's what I meditate in the morning for, is so that I can take a few moments, and that automatic programming, like Jodi was saying, that default way of thinking that's just so automatic, I can pause. I can get a gap between that stimulus and response and say, no, not crab rangoon this morning. I want Mongolian beef. And that's what meditation will do for you. It will help you fill up your own plate full of that buffet of thoughts that's handing you. So my brain in the morning is like, hey, Bryan, what do you think of this? Hey, Bryan, what do you think of this? Hey, Bryan, what do you think of this? I can go, I don't like any of those. I'm going to choose this one instead. And so that's how you can do it. It takes, I don't know, just patience with yourself, compassion with yourself. And I just kept at it, like the self-compassion and the be compassionate with yourself, I tell you, is going to go a long way. And it started tiny, because I would meditate for a couple days and I would feel amazing. And think of it like a credit score with yourself. Like every time you do something and you keep your promise to yourself that, oops, my wonderful cat, is your credit score goes up with yourself, so you're able to follow through. But every time you don't do it after that, like you're breaking these promises to yourself, and that's okay. Because like I would meditate for a couple days, and then I would go weeks, months, and then I'd be like, oh, I need to do that again. And then the same cycle would happen over and over. And then finally it just came to that point where I just enjoyed it so much. Like I looked and understood the benefits of just finding peace, lowering my anxiety, being present. Like being present. My favorite one now, every time I wash my dishes, like Jodi was talking about, my house backs up to a park, and I just get to feel the water on my hands, and I look out in the park. I think about my grandmother a lot because she used to be in the kitchen so much. So it really calms me and it really brings me down. But that's what I've got to share today. I hope that helped. And I'm going to pass it back to you, Chris.
All right. Thank you so much, Bryan. That was amazing. I love the analogies. It really helps to paint the picture. taming that wild horse, right? And that's what we're doing with our minds, because our minds are an incredibly powerful tool if we have command over them. Without that command, they're dangerous, right? And that's when we don't have the command, that's when the negative thinking runs wild, and that causes the depression and the anxiety and all the other emotional ailments that we all tend to suffer from. And so learning to tame that wild horse and use it as a tool to help us create the experiences that we want in life. It's such a wonderful gift to give to ourselves. And I think that's the beauty of meditation. So thoughtfully stated. Thank you so much for that, Bryan. I really enjoyed that. It was very helpful. I hope everyone else found it to be as well. I'm going to drop you back down to attendee, and then I will see you again for the Q&A. Thank you, Bryan. All right, so I am now going to bring on Jutta Jerlich. Jutta, I am coming to get you right now. Jutta is a lecturer and consultant, and she is currently living in Austria. Jutta always admired people who can find peace in meditation, and she loves the stillness a picture of someone meditating instantly brings her. At the same time, she could not really make it work for her. She always had too many thoughts rolling around in her head. Now, this changed when she found a door to her body. This practice allows her to get in touch with her core. She spent 25 years teaching at universities in Japan, Austria, and the USA. As a mentor and consultant, she worked with engineers, teams, and organizations, helping them supercharge their effectiveness by focusing on the collective capacity of people to create value. That is awesome. Thank you so much for joining us today, Jutta. It's a pleasure to see you and have you here. And today, we would love it if you can dispel some of the myths about meditation, like the whole, hey, do I have to sit for 20 minutes with my legs folded and my eyes closed to do it properly? Do I have to have no thoughts at all in order to meditate? Can you help us clear out some of those myths to help simplify this and help make meditation more accessible to more people? Thank you, Jutta.
Thank you, Chris. Thanks for this great introduction, and thanks to Jodi and Bryan, and you, of course, as well. You have already said a couple of things that are helping me to bust the myths and misunderstandings that are out there. And, very often, maybe, I don't know if you can relate to that, but you read a book and it's really exciting and you're like, but I want to know the end, or we are in this fast pace and we're like, but I need to get to that result. And so I'm going to start with a result so that maybe you can relax then and we can come to the 3 points that I brought you. So I feel the goal that we all have when we are slowing down, when we are realizing that we should spend some time with ourselves when we are meditating, is that we can step away from ourselves. We can watch ourselves and observe how are we actually doing. Can we listen to those voices of intuition, to those tiny, very fast little moments that tell us, go there, or did you see this? I think that's the goal, that we are trying to be more in the flow. We are trying to be receiving what we are very often not getting because we are just running constantly. Like I like Bryan's picture about the horse, but even wild horses, they are not wild all the time. So I think that's the first point for me about myths and misunderstandings. I feel we need to slow down to be faster in the end. And this is so controversial, it doesn't really make sense. You feel like this can't be, So that's my first trick that helped me really to slow down, feel myself. And like you said, Chris, the biggest hint for me came from a friend of mine who helped me to change my nutrition as well. She told me, well, go and check into your body. So really, do that breathing exercise and kind of like close your eyes and go on a scan of your body. Maybe you can have one of those copy machines in your mind that has this thing that goes with the light, and it's just scanning you, and you are checking in with all of the parts of our body that is making us be alive, all those little wheels and cells that are doing wonderful jobs. And we can check, well, is there maybe a part that is not feeling so well? And we could go there and check it out and ask that part, what do you actually need? And maybe through that scan, we are already in a much better situation and calmer and with ourselves. So this really, really helped me to be with myself, to be present, to be right here. Because when you're doing that scan, there's nothing else that can be going on in your mind. The second point I have is, for me, summarized with the word freedom. And Jodi has already said it, and Bryan as well. So it's really about not following any rules. And I feel that this is taking us back to being human. I mean, we have the free will. We can decide what we want to do. And just because somebody tells you that there's this rule or that rule, it doesn't really help us. That's really my deep experience. And when you teach, you try to give people the questions that they need to answer for themselves, because we don't have the answers. We have our answers. We don't have the answers for others. So this is the freedom I think we also have to give ourselves. And I like that analogy of friendship, right? We need to be friends with ourselves, which is the hardest thing to do. But we can practice on that and reminding ourselves freedom is actually, a very, very big part of our souls. And we need to, account that, bring that into our formulas of our daily lives. And the third part, and the third point for me is also being present with what you do. And here it's again about, doing something you love, you're comfortable with. I, for example, really like to cook. So if you have a lot of cutting to do, it's more like a meditation than cooking. Doesn't mean that I'm fast with it. So I'm taking my time, enjoying the cooking, and I'm not doing it because somebody's waiting for eating it, but I'm doing it because I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying the process. And sometimes this is even cleaning the house. I don't know if you have noticed that, but when something is completed, somehow I feel like, okay, now I'm ready. I need to, get the vacuum cleaner out and start cleaning something that I didn't even see it was dirty before. But that's also, something you are just engaging in because maybe some process has been completed. So these are my 3 points. Be slower so that you can be faster in the end. Don't forget that we are all free and freedom is part of our nature, and be present with what you do. So I'm looking forward to the questions that you have at the end relating to my points, and maybe I can give you a hint here and there to find those spaces for you that make you calm down and slow down. Thank you, Chris.
Thank you, Jutta. I absolutely loved those points. So powerful. Slow down so you can be faster, right? That's so counterintuitive, but that is the way. Slow is the speed that you need to take to get to where you want to go faster, right? That's really the truth. And so slow down in your mind, pay attention to the task at hand so you can do it smoother and faster. And then freedom, right? Oh, I love that. Give yourself the personal freedom. And then being present, that's what it's really about. Like keeping your mind with your body in this moment at this time. And 99.9% of all of your problems will be gone. So thank you so much for sharing that. I love that. All of this, I think, is really helping to simplify and to dispel a lot of myths about what meditation is, and helping some people understand maybe what meditation isn't, which is just as helpful. So thank you so much. I will drop you down to attendee for now and then bring you back up after we hear from Jackson. Thank you, Jutta. All right. So I am now going to bring on Jackson Tan. Jackson, I am coming for you right now, my friend. And I will introduce you. Jackson is a coach and mentor who lives in Koh Samui, Thailand. And he's going to coach us today on how you don't even do meditation, right? I love this. So Jackson was introduced to meditation in his early 20s, and he didn't do it, and he didn't feel like there was anything to it, nor felt the importance of it. When he had the privilege to be the kapiya, which is an attendant to a monk from the forest tradition during a meditation retreat, that was his first practice, and it transformed and helped him. The word meditation is like exercise or dieting, and from these broad categories comes the refinement and varieties. In conclusion, don't do meditation, because it's not about doing, but it's about letting go. Wow, I love that so much. Thank you, Jackson, for being here. I'm not even going to ask the question. I'm just going to let you tell us about how meditation isn't really about doing anything at all. I love that. Thank you so much, Jackson. Welcome.
Hi, everybody. So all the speakers have spoken, and I'm going to start with don't do meditation. So I imagine all of you will be in a safe environment, seated comfortably. And if you are in a safe environment, you feel comfortable, I would like to invite all of you to close your eyes. You can choose to close your eyes, you can choose not to, it's up to you. All right, just do something fun. Imagine telling people, going to a conference, but closing your eyes and not looking, all right? This is just to help us shut one of our senses, that's our senses of the sight. So as the speakers ahead of me have spoken, Jodi, Bryan, Jutta, about what is meditation, some of the techniques of meditation, what you can do and how you can integrate it. I'm going to come to don't do meditation. So there's so much information out there in the world, you know, from books, you go onto YouTube, just key in meditation. You have tons of information, right? You can read all about it. But the question is, why are you still here joining us for a meditation conference? Don't get me wrong, we appreciate all of you here. Ask yourself, why are we here? Is it because we feel like there needs to be more information? Is it because we need validation that we are on the right track? Is it because we're doing right? So what do you want out from meditation? Is it to reduce stress? Maybe to increase focus? How about increasing clarity? Maybe be a calmer person. Or maybe to enjoy the health benefits that you heard so much about meditation. So whatever your reasons is, what do you want out from meditation? You know, us humans are very used to having objectives for ourselves. You know, we plan our year, we plan what we want to do. We have an aim, always objectives, right? Then we're so used to doing, right? If we don't do anything, don't we feel like we're lazy? Like somehow you don't feel at ease if you don't do anything. You know, we always want to control things. Somehow we feel like if we're in control of things, we feel safe because we're very uncomfortable with the unknown. So we try and go and control things. Right? So the other things that we do a lot is measure. Right? We always measure our progress. You know, we want to know what's today, where have we progressed to, what are we going to do, what more can we do? Always measuring ourselves. And we want things fast. You know, in today's world, instant gratification. There's no patience for anything, right? Partly because of these so many gimmicks out there, you know, 7 ways to become a millionaire, my 3 steps to better health, the 4 steps to a beautiful life, and so on and so forth. So we're not used. We're so used to these tricks or whatever thing about getting things fast. We want it fast. Everything is fast. So what if I tell you meditation is not about all these, right? Meditation is not about having an objective or an aim, right? Meditation is not about doing. It's not about doing anything. Meditation is not about controlling. Meditation, right, is not about measuring against anything. And meditation is not about being fast or getting something very quick. And what if I tell you that through meditation, whatever that you wanted out from it will automatically fall in place. You'll be less stressed. You have more ease. You'll be a calmer person, happier. These are all natural. So you're still closing your eyes. I would like to invite you now to just imagine and splitting yourself into 2. One part remaining as you, the other part transforming yourself into a moth, just hanging onto the wall. Just be the moth hanging on the wall, watching the you that's either seated or laying comfortably somewhere. And I would like to get you into this practice, which Jutta have just mentioned, about the scanning method. And if you can just follow the guidance and just relax as I bring you through. So imagine a big scanner right from the top of your head, coming down, scanning the top of your head, just relaxing your scalp. As the scanner comes down onto your forehead, just relaxing the muscles on your forehead. Coming down, relaxing your eyebrows, followed by your eyelids. Coming down through your nose bridge, relaxing. As it hits your ear, relaxing your ear. Whatever ways you can think of. As you come down, relaxing the cheeks. Just feel the cheeks relaxing, your nose relaxing, your upper lips relaxing, lower lips, your jawbone just relaxing, entire face feeling relaxed. Coming down to your muscles on the neck, which have been supporting you all your life without complaints, just relaxing them. Down to your shoulders, just feel the weight off your shoulders. Your upper back muscles, relaxing your chest muscles as the scanner comes down. Onto your biceps and your triceps. Scanner continue to go down all over your back, relaxing down to your core muscles, just relaxing. Your forearms down to your fingers. Just feel the muscles relaxing. Scanning going down to your pelvic bones, just relaxing. Your bottom. Relaxing your thigh muscles, your hamstring, the joints on your knees, your calf muscles, the shin, and your toes, feeling the entire body relax. As the scanner goes up again at the top, I invite you, like the door of the Jurassic Park, opening up from the top of your head, exposing your internal organs, now diving into it, relaxing your brain, whatever ways you can think of. Coming in, relaxing the eye socket, your cornea, relaxing the nasal canal, the ear canal, down to your tongue, just relaxing. Coming down the throat, relaxing the throat. Going down to the stomach, relaxing the stomach muscles. How about the lungs? Breathing in and relaxing the lungs. And the heart has been working tirelessly since the day you were born, relaxing the heart. How about the liver? Just relaxing the liver, the kidneys, the gallbladder, if you know where it is, the insignificant as you think, relaxing the gallbladder, the pancreas, the small intestines, joining the large intestines, relaxing them as the scanner goes down through to the rectum, to your reproductive organs, just relaxing. As the scanner goes up again, now, as the scanner comes down from the head, feel if there's any part of your body that are feeling stressed. Just watching them, embracing them and welcoming them with love and compassion. Watching them and feel it ease and relax. As you move down your body, if you feel any tightness in your muscles, give it as much love as possible and you relax. Any emotions that are stuck, any energy, body heat, as you come down, as you scan your body, just pay attention to them, giving them enough love and compassion and relaxing. Do this all the way, moving down to your body. Most of us would have tightness in the lower back. Just feel the ache, giving it enough compassion and love, easing and allowing it to relax and dissipate. Down to your knees, the pain on your feet. And before we come out, I would like to have you breathe 3 times. Just deep breathe in, as deep as you can, holding and breathing out, feeling the entire body relax. One more time, second breath, holding and out, relaxing. Last one, breathing in, holding, breathing out, relaxing. And when you're ready, just open your eyes. How do you feel? This scanning exercise is what I call a pre-meditation exercise. As a way to relax your body. And when you relax, what do? You do nothing. Just imagine laying on the bed, you do nothing. As you relax, you do nothing. That's the method to prepare your body before you head into meditation. So I gave you the analogy of being the moth on the wall. This is what I meant by don't do meditation. Be like the moth, just watching. As the emotions, as the thoughts comes in, what you need to do is just watch, allowing it to come, being there with it. Just do nothing. Whatever happens, just watch. Separate yourself from you. Be the moth for a moment. Don't be you. And when you don't be you, there is nothing for you to do. Just watch and be curious. Have fun. Just enjoy whatever thoughts that comes to your mind and play a game even, right? If you fall asleep, fine. Next time, play the game. The moth and you. Let's see who catches the person who fall asleep first. have fun. And that's how things becomes easy. I just want to leave you with this parting story. We all go to work every day. Some people work 5 days a week. Some work every day. But do you get paid every day? No, you don't. You get paid at the end of the month. The same for meditation. When you meditate every day, don't expect to be paid. Don't even expect to be paid at the end of the month, like your salary in your work. Because as you meditate, payday will come. And payday will come in the form of silence, in the form of peace. And that is worth a while for your patience to wait. Thank you. And I hand it back to Chris.
Wow, Jackson, thank you so much. I love that. Was incredibly relaxing. That was amazing. Thank you. And yes, that is the payoff, is inner peace, a calm, peaceful mind that allows room for joy and enjoyment of life. I love have fun with it. Make it a game. Enjoy it because it's to be enjoyed. And once you get into the habit of it, it becomes so enjoyable. I love meditating now. It used to be a chore. It used to be something, oh, I need to do this for my benefit. I look forward to those moments when I can sit and do nothing because it is so relaxing. It is so enjoyable. Jackson, thank you for walking us through that. Wow, that was incredible. All right, everyone, please, if you have any questions at all, type those into the Q&A right now. And I am going to bring back our keynote speakers, and we are going to be here for you to answer any questions that you may have. Jodi makes meditation sound so easy. That's awesome. She absolutely did. And it is simple. I'm going to definitely start meditating while doing the everyday task. I think I'm going to enjoy brushing my teeth more. Thank you. That's awesome. Thank you for that. And yeah, it really is. It's just about being present. So you don't have to necessarily just sit. It's about being focused on the present moment. Thank you for that comment. That is awesome. All right, next. When I sit to meditate, my mind races and it tends to be very negative. I describe myself as a positive person, but why do I have so many negative thoughts? That is a great question. And Jodi, I am going to give you the opportunity first to answer that. And then if anyone else wants to, they can go after you. So Jodi, what are your thoughts on why so many negative thoughts?
Absolutely love this question too. As I find as humans, we're so much more negative than we are positive. And I find it's because it's easier to be negative. For some reason, it just is. It's easier to be negative. And here's the thing about negativity. We know what that feels like, especially if we're not a positive person, but you say you find you are a positive person. So it's interesting that during these times, you do have negative thoughts. Usually negative thoughts are habits, and habits are in our unconscious, right? They're not in our conscious. So we're thinking these things because our unconscious has so much more control over us than we realize. We're thinking these bad thoughts more than we realize. So that is my guess why when you're, thinking in these times, you're having these negative thoughts. What you can do that you realize, that first step is awareness, right? First step to change everything is awareness. Well, you obviously are aware because you know to tell us that you're having these thoughts. After you have the awareness, ask yourself why you think you're having these thoughts. What's going on with you? And reflect on that. Once you reflect, you might be surprised that you come up with some answers in your reflection and know maybe what you can do, what you can change. Now, change is a scary thing because it's the unknown. So I'll repeat what I said earlier. To change these negative thoughts that you're having, what is the smallest possible step that you can take to do something positive for that thought instead? And that is my advice to you. Realize it's just easier to be negative. We're conditioned that way as humans. I'm not sure where you are in the world. I know in the West, we're conditioned that way. So if you want to reverse that, you're aware, reflect on these thoughts that you're having, you'll see that you're going to come up with some reflection and get some answers, and practice that smallest possible step you can take to reverse it. So that's my answer to you. I hope it helps you.
I love that so much, Jodi. Thank you. Does anyone else want to add on to that? Jackson, please.
So I recall this story about a monk trying to meditate, and they are holy. They are not supposed to have all this. They call it the monkey mind thoughts about sex, about girls and everything. And as hard as you try, when these thoughts comes in, as hard as you try to dispel it, the stronger they will come onto you. So just like these negative thoughts, when they come in, because our mind is saying, I don't want these negative thoughts, it will come in stronger. So my recommendation is just allow it to happen. And again, be the moth on the wall, just watching the negative thoughts, and just be curious, see what they do to you, or they do anything. But more likely than not, as you watch them, they are going to disappear and ease away. And if they continue to come too strongly, there's this trick that you make a contract, an agreement with these negative thoughts. Tell them, don't come now. The next hour, I will allow you to come as much as you can. And when the next hour, when you relax, you just tell the negative thought, all right, this is an hour for you. Come as you may. I bet you they will not come. So try this method and see how it works for you. Thanks.
I love that. Thank you, Jackson. That's awesome. All right, we have quite a few questions, so I'm going to move on to the next one. Can you recommend a book that helps with finding the flow when you are feeling stuck? I'm going to give that to you first, Bryan, and if you don't have an answer for that, fine. If anyone else does, then we'll go to them.
I don't know the name of, and I'm not going to pronounce his name right. Thich Nhat Hanh, or I blew it. I probably blew it. He's got a book on meditation that I got it like a long, long time ago, thinking I'm going to find this, big Bible of whatever. And it was such a tiny little book, but that's what I would recommend. And your mind will be blown by the simplicity of it. But yeah, I like to think of flow too, is the way I go through my life. When I think of, everybody says they want to have balance in their life, but when I picture myself balancing on something, I picture myself teetering, and I'm always fighting to do that. But when I'm flowing, I picture it like a lazy river. And so as I'm floating down there might be a rock or something in the way that I bounce off of, but I allow myself to flow, whether it's flow more into the work part of my life, or maybe it's the relationships part of my life, but I allow the flow in there. So, but that's, I don't there's probably a ton more books out there, but that's the first book that came to the top of my mind.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you, Bryan. I'll throw out a couple books that came to mind for me. One is The Art of Impossible by Stephen Kotler, who is a flow expert. So, there's a lot in there about getting unstuck and having an intentional path and getting into the flow state, which really helps just move things along wonderfully. And then a book by Eckhart Tolle is The Power of Now, and then there's a companion audio version called Practicing the Power of Now. I highly recommend both of those. I got so much out of reading and listening to those two by Eckhart Tolle. Does anyone else have any that they would like to add? All right, awesome. So we're going to move on to the next question, which is, can you recommend someone you follow for meditation or staying present in the moment? All right, so anyone you recommend to follow for meditation, Jutta?
I would come back to the freedom statement again. Maybe you can follow your cat, follow another animal, or, the moth that is watching you, observing you, like Jackson said. Try to get inspiration from nature. That's what would be, my hint, my recommendation here. Anything, a butterfly that's coming along, even the rain, the weather can be also a very nice way to just settle into what's happening right now.
Yes, I absolutely love that. I agree so much. I think just going within, and then also nature is such a wonderful thing to focus in on. It could be a plant. Sit and observe the nature of a plant, and that could be your guide.
Yeah.
Does anyone else have anything they would like to add? All right, awesome. Oh yeah, Jackson, please.
No, so since no one is because I read the question as maybe you're a beginner meditator, you want to sort of listen to someone so they can follow the meditation. I recommend Ajahn Brahmavamso. Okay, he's a very hilarious monk. He's a British and he lives in Australia. But I will type it into the chat, and you can search him out. And there are lots of YouTube and recordings of him, and it's very funny just to watch him talk about meditation, and he has jokes all around. So that would be my recommendation.
That's great. Thank you, Jackson. That's awesome. And I will also mention one other person who I have followed in the past and really enjoy. It's Tara Brach. Tara Brach has a lot of wonderful meditations that are also out there on YouTube and her own website. She has a lot of tools as well, things to really help in different situations in life. So Tara Brach has a lot of amazing free content out there. All right, let's see. Next comment, Jackson, I liked your payday will come in the form of silence or peace analogy. Yeah, I really like that too. I thought that was a really important, powerful thing to mention, is that you might not feel the effects right away, but the benefits will come. The positive effects will come. I know this from personal experience. My ability to focus, to create pause between stimulus and response. And so I'm not overly emotionally reactive to things. Instead, I'm more intentionally responsive. These things have improved dramatically for me in my life. And I have just much more inner peace and calm and joy because of years of meditation. All right, let's see. There are so many different types of meditation: walking meditation, sitting meditation, guided meditation. I even heard of a sleeping meditation. Can someone talk about the benefits of the different types? Jackson, would you like to answer this one?
Okay, so generally, a lot of people do sitting meditation, and like Jodi had mentioned, you don't necessarily need to sit on the floor, with your legs crossed. You can sit on the chair, or whatever a cushion that makes you feel comfortable. You don't even need to cross your leg. But for practitioners of meditation, and especially when they go deep and silent, they sit for a long time, and that sometimes can put a strain on them. And that's why walking meditation would be useful to just give your body some energy and some movement. So walking meditation is also good for you to do, like especially for people who do meditation retreats, whereby they do, I don't know, 6, 7, 8, 9 days of day in, day out of meditation. That walking meditation will help, especially after a meal, when you sit, you fall asleep. So walking meditation gives you a different feel, because walking meditation is meditating with your eyes open. You definitely can't do walking meditation with your eyes closed. You will knock into something or you'll be off balance. I've tried it. You will definitely be off balance. So that's the, I think, importance of walking meditation, because in meditation, sometimes they want to have this continuity. And if they can't sit too long, they don't want that break. And walking meditation will help their body, yet still maintaining the inner peace and silence in their mind that will continue on. As for sleeping meditation, well, I know it's sleep. Well, you can't be sleeping meditation, in my own opinion, unless if you're asleep, you're asleep. You can't be aware that you are asleep, right? If someone has done it, congratulations. But I have not heard of sleeping meditation. So as for guided meditation, I think for beginners, when you feel like you're not sure if this is the right thing or that is the right thing, how long should I do? I think listening to guided meditation will help, especially for people who are just started the journey of meditation. Thank you.
Great answers. I love that. Thank you so much, Jackson. Does anyone have anything that they would like to add to that? Jodi, yes, please.
Hi, I love that, Jackson. I love everything Jackson says, though. I want you to piggyback on what you said, Jackson. I personally love walking meditations because it is doing something. So I suggest that to people when they're new to meditation and they want to do. Now, like you were saying with balance, even, a walking meditation is slow, right? A walking meditation is not fast. You're going to be present. You want to know what you're doing. So you do have to keep your balance. So that is a nice way for you to stay present. You have to keep your balance, right? So yeah, I just wanted to say that about the meditation and even dancing. There's dancing meditations. A lot of people think that's, kind of woo-woo. I've been to dancing meditations for full moons, dancing around a tree or something. And, like Jackson was saying, you really don't want to feel like you're doing anything. You want to just be happy. And that dancing, it's kind of whatever, however you want to move, it's not dancing. It's, just move like you feel like you want to move and do what you want to do. And you don't even feel like you're doing anything. It's just natural. And so find the kind of meditation that you want to do. And I just wanted to say, as far as the guided meditation, everything should be comfortable again, right? Find the person's voice that you like the way they sound, the feeling that they give you. There's so many people out there that do this. So even though, you're getting, ideas, great, start with these ideas, but again, be kind to yourself, be compassionate, be patient with yourself, and be comfortable. Find that person that you enjoy their guidance. So I just wanted to put that out there too.
To add on to that real quick too, I think you can meditate even while in a conversation with another person, and the benefit is direct in that you're fully present and engaged. You deepen your connection. You can help them feel more comfortable and connected with you. And so in that moment, just by paying attention to the way that person looks, the sound of their voice, the words that they're saying, by really paying attention to them, you're meditating and you're paying attention to that person, and you're deepening your connection. And so right there, you can have a direct, immediate benefit from a meditative practice. Another one is yoga. For me, yoga is a moving meditation, and the benefits of yoga are immense. So it's all the benefits of meditation plus the physical health benefits of strength training, cardio, stretching. Yoga for me is a wonderful practice to strengthen the fitness of your mind, body, and soul. All right, so we're going to move on. We still have some more questions. I'm going to have one here. Jackson described me. I meditate so I can actually tell people that I meditated today. It sounds very impressive. It's like I get points from other people when they know I meditate, but then sometimes I forget to meditate and I feel ashamed. I will still tell others that I did meditate. I feel like an imposter. Can you talk about the need to get approval by others? Jodi, I'm going to come right back to you for that one.
Sure. I can relate. I just want you to know that I can relate. I like validation. I just do. In the beginning, I didn't like it. I wanted to be my own strength. I don't need anybody. We're taught that from a young age. But the more we're okay with however we are, the less we need validation. Now I say I still like validation. That's gotten me to that practice point where I don't feel like I like it anymore. But with the computer, for instance, I feel like I'm computer illiterate in a lot of ways. I like hand holding with certain things. I like to be told what to do instead of figure it out sometimes. And that's okay. That's just who I am. And it's okay who you are. So is it a bad thing that you want the validation? Or, think about that. Is that a bad thing to you? Or are you just thinking validation is a bad thing? Maybe it's not. Maybe you don't want the validation anymore. I'm going to go back to the why. You think of, you're aware about this validation and you feel this way about it. Do some reflection on it again. Think of the why, come up with some answers, and maybe it won't be so bad for you. If it is, find something to work on within yourself, why you need the validation and what you can do. So I hope that helps. But in my book, there is nothing wrong with validation. Sometimes we just need it. That's me being kind to myself.
I love that. Self-compassion. It's so important. Does anyone else want to add to that? Jackson, please.
So, this thing about validation, because it's written there, so I can actually tell people that I meditated today and it sounds very impressive. So I think this is coming from you wanting to impress someone. And from that statement, I read it as you feeling that you're not good enough. Hence, you still need to impress someone. So maybe one of the things that you can practice is, I do it, look in the mirror every morning when I brush my teeth and just repeat to myself that I am good enough. And just stare right into your eyes in the mirror and tell yourself that I'm good enough. There's no need to compare because I'm uniquely me, the only one, and that I'm good enough. So try the practice and see what happens.
Yeah, I love that so much. I've done this, and I want to let you all know that if you haven't done it before and you want to try it, it might be very uncomfortable at first. Stick with it though, because it becomes more comfortable, and it's such a really powerful thing to do, to give yourself that kind of love while looking in the mirror. It helps to improve your self-confidence, your feelings of self-worth and deserving of love. It's really a wonderful thing to do to help lift yourself up. All right, so let's see, we have a couple more. Chris, can you talk more about meditation during a conversation with someone when we are in an argument? After an argument, I regret so much what I've said. What did I say to them? Oh, yes, right. I'm with you on this. I have a lot of experience with regretting what I've said in an argument. And yeah, even in an argument, it's a wonderful time to practice, because in an argument, we have this gift and opportunity to remain present and to be compassionate. So if we're arguing with someone, it's because we're both upset. So there's this opportunity to be compassionate with ourselves and with the person that we're arguing with. And so meditation outside of the argument is actually a good practice to be present while you're in the meditation. And then while you're in the meditation, you can practice it as well. So again, focus on what the person is saying, and instead of what you make that mean about you, and then you get defensive and you want to argue back, instead maybe feel how it feels. Like pay attention to the feeling in your body, and then also just take it as the opportunity to be compassionate. If they're upset with you, it's because they're hurting, and if they're yelling at you, it's not because they want to hurt you, it's because they are hurt, and they're just reacting to their emotions. So this is an opportunity to be patient, to be compassionate, to be loving, to be kind, to help somebody you care about to feel better, to overcome something that is that they're having a hard time with. And so meditation can help you lower your ego, that it's that wild horse that has control over you. This helps you gain command over that wild horse and use it as a tool to not only help yourself, but help others, even when they're arguing with you, because you can create that pause between the reaction that you have, them being upset with you and yelling at you, and then the reaction that you have. You can learn to create enough pause that you can get in tune with what's going on, and then filter what you say back and how you respond, and actually come from a place of love and compassion and wanting to help solve a problem or come to a solution, help somebody you care about. Animals do what is good for them. If meditation is so good for our bodies, then what gets in the way for us humans to not do something that is good for us? I'm going to give this one over to Bryan. Bryan, do you want to answer this one?
Well, I will do it the best I can. What gets in the way? Our minds, like our thinking. I think that our imagination, right? I don't think that animals, and I don't personally know, but have the same type of imagination that we do. I think the imagination is probably the most powerful thing on this planet besides the energy. But like we just imagine new scenarios. And like we've talked about, I think, Chris, you talked about that gap between stimulus and response. And I think Viktor Frankl had said like something to the effect of between stimulus and response is our power to choose. And so our thoughts affect us. And so like, and going back, speaking to another thing too about like our feeling bad or wanting to feel validated, like when we identify with our thoughts, like our thoughts are like, that's mine, I own that, it's me, we feel it in our bodies. And like Jackson said, become the moth on the wall, or I call it the watcher of the thinker. Like you have that separation from it. But yeah, it's so hard. Like that, there's our identity, which is our ego and other things, and it's like so close there that we just feel like if we feel it in our body, feel it's a part of us. And so it's just our natural instinct to want to do that. But like for me, the answer is thinking. We're thinking way too much. And then so instead of doing what's good for us, we're like, oh, what about that over there? And then we go that way.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for that, Bryan. Thank you everyone for being a part of this, for your amazing questions. I hope you all got as much out of this as I did. If you have a question that wasn't answered, because, and I'm sorry I didn't have time to get to all of them, please feel free to email your question to hello@lifecoachuniversity.com, and somebody will respond to you and answer that question for you. Or you can attend one of the Pay It Forward talks that all of us coaches at Life Coach University put on, and you can ask your question then. I'm going to just ask each one of the keynote speakers, and just real quickly, one sentence, give us a highlight about anything you want to say about meditation in one sentence. Jodi, we'll start with you.
I'm going to go back to the animal thing because I have such a passion for animals for a second, and say animals are all about energy, right? Everything is energy. And that's what meditation is. Meditation is simply energy. So if you get out of your head and come into your heart, your embodiment, your gut, that energy, you'll know what meditation is, and you'll know how it makes you feel.
I don't think there's any right way to meditate. You do you, let it evolve on its own. I think of it like a muscle that we're exercising. If you exercise your muscles enough, they become stronger.
Everyone is suited for meditation because we are all humans. We all have bodies. And I think we need to come back into our bodies, connect to nature, and find that peace, that unconditional place with ourselves and with others.
We're always wanting, we're always grabbing, we're always controlling. Meditation is not any of those. So just be the moth on the wall and watch. Thank you.
I love it. Thank you all so much. I really enjoyed this. I got a ton out of it. I hope our attendees did as well. Thank you again for being here, all of you. Thank you for visiting us at Life Coach University. And if you got anything out of this and you feel inspired, please just go out into the world and pay the kindness forward. Share what you learned here with others, or just let it inspire you to be kind to others out in the world, be more loving and joyful and peaceful, and just be the change that you want to see in the world. Thank you all so much. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your day or night. Take care.